You think you know what a handshake means. A polite greeting, a professional gesture, something you do automatically, without thinking. You extend your hand, someone else does the same, and the moment passes almost unnoticed. But for most of human history, extending your hand wasn't about manners at all. It was about survival. Because long before the handshake became a casual hello, it was a silent question with deadly consequences. Are you hiding a weapon? Or can I trust you with my life? Imagine a world without laws as we know them. No police, no contracts, no institutions enforcing promises. In that world, every encounter with a stranger carried risk. Violence was common, betrayal was expected, and trust had to be proven instantly, without words. Showing your empty hand was one of the clearest signals you could offer. It said, "I'm not about to strike you." It didn't guarantee safety, but it reduced the odds of immediate death. The earliest handshakes weren't friendly. They were cautious. In a time when daggers were small and easily concealed, gripping another person's hand allowed both sides to feel for hidden weapons. The motion itself was functional. It was a physical inspection disguised as cooperation. What we now call politeness began as mutual suspicion, carefully managed through ritual. And the meaning of the hand went deeper than safety. Across ancient cultures, the hand was believed to carry intention, honor, and truth. It was the part of the body that acted upon the world. To offer it was to expose yourself. To accept it was to acknowledge vulnerability. That's why early gestures of trust rarely stood alone. People swore oaths while touching hands, clasped forearms, broke bread together, or shared salt. Rituals meant to bind individuals together through shared risk. The handshake was only one expression of a much older human instinct, turning uncertainty into alliance, even if only for a moment. In some societies, the handshake wasn't symbolic at all. It was literal. There were cultures where agreements were sealed by drawing blood and mixing it during a grip, creating so-called blood brothers. The logic was simple and terrifying. If blood carries life, then mixing it binds lives together. Breaking that bond wasn't just dishonorable. It was believed to invite supernatural punishment. A handshake could define loyalty, identity, and destiny. This is why phrases we still use today like shaking on it or a handshake deal carry more weight than we realize. They echo a time when spoken promises were fragile, but physical rituals were binding. When a deal made by hand was stronger than ink on paper. To refuse a handshake could be interpreted as hostility. To accept one and betray it could mean exile, vengeance, or death. As societies grew larger and more complex, the handshake evolved, but it never lost its core meaning. No civilization shaped it more decisively than Rome. The Romans didn't invent the handshake, but they systematized it. They standardized it. They turned it into a social technology. The Roman handshake, known as dextromaiunctio, the joining of right hands, became a powerful symbol of unity, loyalty, and mutual obligation. You see it everywhere in Roman life, carved into stone reliefs, stamped on coins, embedded in public ceremonies. Soldiers used it to signal allegiance. Politicians used it to seal alliances. Merchants used it to confirm agreements. And perhaps most revealing of all, it appeared in marriage rituals. When a Roman couple joined hands, it wasn't romance being expressed. It was a public, legal declaration. Two individuals binding their futures in front of witnesses through a gesture everyone understood. Rome's greatest contribution wasn't just the handshake itself, but its reach. As Roman law, military discipline, and cultural norms spread across Europe, the handshake traveled with them. Even after the empire collapsed, its customs lingered. The handshake survived not because people remembered why it existed, but because it worked. It communicated trust faster than language. It crossed social barriers. It required no translation. The Middle Ages reshaped the gesture once again. In a world of armor, swords, and rigid hierarchies, greetings were loaded with meaning. Knights often clasped forearms instead of hands, gripping tightly to ensure no blade was hidden up a sleeve. The handshake became heavier, firmer, and more deliberate. Among equals, it signaled mutual respect. Between strangers, it was a test. Among unequals, it could be a challenge. As weapons gradually disappeared from everyday civilian life, the handshake softened. During the Renaissance, it shifted from defense to symbolism. Who initiated it, how long it lasted, and how strong it was became subtle indicators of status. A weak grip could imply dishonesty or cowardice. A refusal could suggest superiority. The handshake had become a form of social language, quiet, but deeply expressive. Religion played a crucial role in shaping its modern form. In Protestant communities, especially among Puritans, Elaborate bows and physical displays were seen as insincere or excessive. Simplicity was valued. Directness was praised. The handshake fit perfectly. It was restrained, equal, and unpretentious. In places like England and later America, it became the preferred greeting, plain, democratic, and honest. By the Victorian era, the handshake was fully normalized and codified. Etiquette manuals defined the proper handshake: firm but not aggressive, brief but confident. It became a measure of character. Business deals were judged by it. Leaders were assessed by it. A good handshake suggested reliability and self-control. A bad one could quietly sabotage opportunities. The ancient ritual of survival had transformed into a social performance, but the instinct behind it never disappeared. Even today, the handshake isn't universal. It varies dramatically across cultures. In some countries, a firm grip signals confidence. In others, it's rude. Some cultures use both hands to show respect. Others prefer light contact, or none at all. Misunderstandings still happen because the handshake isn't just a gesture. It's a deeply ingrained cultural code, shaped by centuries of shared history. Then came the modern disruption. A global pandemic forced humanity to stop touching. Suddenly, a gesture that had survived wars, plagues, and collapsing empires was questioned. Elbow bumps replaced grips. Nods replaced contact. For the first time in thousands of years, people seriously asked whether the handshake was obsolete. But history suggests otherwise. The handshake has never been static. It adapts. It changes form. What remains constant is its purpose. At its core, the handshake is a ritual of reassurance. It says, "I see you. I acknowledge you. I mean no harm." That message is older than writing, older than recorded history, possibly older than civilization itself. So the next time you shake someone's hand, pause for a second. You're not just being polite. You're participating in a ritual forged on battlefields, sealed with blood, shaped by empires, and refined over millennia. A simple motion carrying an ancient promise, trust, for just a moment, between two human beings. And that's why something so ordinary still feels so powerful.